Hey guys, this is Michael at RC4WD coming to you today with a tech tip. What we're going to work on is how to do some custom body work on this old Mojave body. We're going to bob the bed, or other people call it just a bobbed bed. So the tools we're going to need, some tape. I like to use 1.5 inch, marker, tools to take the body apart, and a knife to score the lines. We can also do the cutting with a Dremel or any other power tool, but you want to just make sure you can cut some straight lines. So the first thing we're going to need to do is take the truck apart. Alright guys, so now that I have this apart, the next thing we need to do is just mark our lines, and the best way to do that is to use tape. I mentioned 1.5 inches because that's actually just going to take off an equal 1.5 inches. You don't have to worry about having parallel lines with tape, so if you just use that nice thick piece, it'll make it a lot easier for you. Alright, that line's all the way back up and around. So that's just basically how I can mark my lines, right guys? It's pretty simple. So from there, just take our marker, and you don't have to worry about making a really smooth line because you basically just cut up to the marker. Alright, that should do it guys. From there, I'm going to go out to the garage and do some cutting, and I will be back to show you how to glue it together. So I got the body cut on this thing, and you can see I've got some clamps on here gluing some tabs in place. So I'm going to take all these clamps off, and you can see these alignment tabs I just cut out of some styrene and glued in place. Those are going to help align everything. I used a Dremel and just rough cut the whole thing, like right down the middle of that tape that I had on there, and then got close to the line and then finished it up with some sandpaper on a tabletop just to make sure everything was flat. Take the clamps off this side and put a mounting tab all the way along here, so that's going to help just keep the bed together. So you can watch how it just kind of goes together just like a puzzle piece right there. Everything lines up pretty well. The next step is going to be clamping this all together and using a little more glue. I'm only going to use glue where I have the tabs, because the glue I've been using is shoe glue, or E6000 is another style you can use. The reason I'm only going to put it on the tabs is because when that stuff leaks out of the joint, it doesn't look good on the body, and it's pretty rubbery, so it's hard to get out of there. So the next step is going to be applying glue to the joints where the tabs are, clamping it all together, wait a few more hours, and then I'll be back and show you how to finish up the bodywork. Hey guys, I got the glue dried on this thing. I let it sit overnight. I'll try to get it up so you can see. One thing to note, you'll notice that the back of the bed does not line up exactly with the wheel well right here, but that's just a quick trim with some sandpaper, a little hobby knife. The lines all turned out pretty well on the sides. They're almost, you can't even feel them really, but I think a little bit of body filler will clean that up. On the inside, I did get a little aggressive with the Dremel, but I really wasn't too concerned because that's not something you're going to be looking at, and you can fill that in pretty easy. So the next step to this is just get the body back together, and I'll show you what everything looks like when it's installed. Hey guys, it's already installed on the truck, and you can see how much different you have this thing looking once everything is cut and bobbed. Gives you a much better departure angle when if you're doing any rock climbing or trail riding out there. Two things that you're going to have to note when you do this. is if you bob it a lot, like I did it about the maximum, your chassis on your TF2 is going to hang out just a little bit. But if you're confident with a hacksaw or a Dremel, you can trim that stuff off. A negative, I guess, or a con would be that maybe you can't install the same bumper you had. But if you're the kind of person who can bob the bed, then you're also the kind of person that can make your own bumper mount and get that mounted back on there. Another thing that we lost is these corner marker lights. I bobbed it that much. You can bob it a little less to still keep them. But if you do have a light kit, you'll probably have to relocate those lights or just trim those LEDs off. What I do on my truck is I just shoe glue them right here so they'll actually shine down and you'll get a little rock light. But I think this is a pretty, it's a pretty basic hard body modification that just about anyone could do if you have a Dremel and some sandpaper and some glue. So I hope you guys like it, and let us know if you have any questions or anything in the comments. Thanks.